Hello everyone, this is Rex Red. I am back with another fun tutorial today with Daz Studio and Blender, and we're going to use some Blender today. So this is going to be a fun, exciting tutorial because we're going to learn about, now I'm not going to go into how to set up Blender in Daz Studio. I will talk about a few things and I'll use it. And so using that bridge to Daz will help you to kind of visualize how this all works and how this is something we're going to do a lot of today so that you're going to really kind of know what's up with Diffeomorphic. If you want to install Diffeomorphic into Daz, just look up how to install Diffeomorphic into Daz Studio. I'm not even going to really kind of go into going to their webpage and showing all this stuff and this is what you download and this is how you... We're going to just jump right into this and start using it, okay? So I will say that I had a problem because when you install something, you see here it says export to Blender. Well, this doesn't work. For some reason, when I click on it, nothing happens. So I have to actually use the scripts and they're here, and I have them here, I believe in here. They're materials, PBR, skin, most used. Okay, I have it here in the export to Blender. So if you try to set up your Diffeomorphic and you have nothing but problems trying to do it, then come into after you've put a good effort into trying to do it, then come here and ask some questions in the thread to this video, and I will try to maybe help if you've come up against a wall, because it's not an easy thing to do to set up Diffeomorphic, but it's not as hard as it could be also. It could be like put this in that folder and this in that folder and those in that folder and this in that folder, and it could be like, and edit this script and do all these things. It could be like that kind of hard, and it's not. I didn't get Diffeomorphic set up until yesterday, but I know a lot about this stuff, and so I was able to pick it up really quick because I have exported things into Blender before, so it wasn't that difficult. So I want to just make sure that my stream here is public. Sometimes I come in here and it says private. Okay. So eventually people will get sent to this thread. All right, so to our video here. So, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some kind of character into the scene. And I have so many Daz videos I'd like to make right now. They just came out with Jeppy's masculine body hair project for Genesis 9. I have tons of stuff to say about this. There's also this MM3D Holden HD shapes for Genesis 9. I'm like totally really pleased with that product as well. Okay, but that's not what we're here for. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to put together a character real quick. So I think we'll use, I'll use one of these new characters, these figures here. They look all like they're all the same, but if you look at them up close, they're actually different people. They just are all bald and everything. Let's pick this guy, okay? So let's put him into the scene. And these guys don't come with any skin textures, but they come with a face and a body that's unique, okay? And that's what's really, really cool about them is it's a product that gives you 9 masculine, 9 different people, I think. I think it's 9 different people. And it's not, it wasn't that expensive. So that is a nice thing. So you get 9 different, I got 9 different men in this brand new, and they're all Genesis 9. They all have a different face. And what's nice about them is they're nice faces, okay? They're not ugly as sin kind of faces. They're actually really, really beautiful faces. And you will see that once we start putting him together. They're really nice. They're like, 18 to 30-year-old kind of faces, okay? And so they're really beautiful. So this is a good product. So, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So what I'm going to do is now use find another figure and put some skin on him. Let's use this Asian guy, and we'll click on this, and we'll go to materials, and we're going to put these materials on this guy. So he didn't come with any skin. He just came with shapes, and which is really interesting. I would buy 10 of these products. So whoever made this, and I know I read their name and everything, make more. I'll buy them. So because I really, 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 really like this product. Okay, so look at they are an artist. They know how to make beautiful, shapely, perfectly shaped. They are master artists. So I am very pleased with this product. So we might as well use some eye colors. So we'll just use these MDL colors for the eyes. And that didn't work. Maybe I have to select. I thought you just, oh well, it says materials. So we need to just select these select the eyes. And they didn't work. So maybe if we go into surfaces and make sure we have this selected and try again. Materials. Well, maybe these eyes just don't like to go on here. So we'll try some other eyes. That's too bad. I want to use them. So we go to figures again. Select here to Genesis 9. Go to figures. Figures. And let's do Casey eyes. And we'll go to default. Materials. And we'll try them. There we go. We have eyes. The only problem that I don't like about it is he didn't fit the eyes into the heads properly. So you have to go in and fix them. So what we're going to do is go to parameters. And so this is what you go through to make a scene anyway. So we're going to go 120. And I will try to talk while I do this so that I am not wasting time. Now, as you can see, they're bulging out of the head. So we're going to take and push them in a little bit. And that's kind of okay. Let's push them over. Let's try to get them right so that they're right. And that is okay. And now we got to do this 120. Go at 120 here, 120. You have to do this with a lot of figures, Genesis. As soon as you put a morph on their head, you have to resize their eyes. So it's not a big deal. You just get used to it. It's like posing fingers or something. So that's that. And so make sure you don't cover up the eye moisture. Now there's a tiny bit of a space over here, but it's not enough. Well, maybe we can just pull this over just a smidgen. Okay, that is perfect. So they just make sure they're both the same size, and hopefully the figure is asymmetrical. So now we're going to go up here. We're going to find some clothing for him. And so we'll put some kind of clothes on him. We're gonna bring him in. Oh, thank you for the like. Somebody just came in and just left a like and then said, I gotta go. Bye. I love you. So we are gonna find clothing for him. And it all depends on the scene we're going to put him into. And I have no idea right now. But let's do something sci-fi. Okay, I got all kinds of sci-fi clothes. I did something with a sailor in the scene here the other night. It was very nice. It was fun making that. Okay, so we're going to find some clothes and not take too long doing this. Let's see what we've got. Why is this taking so long to scroll? And can we... I think there's a way to go male and female. No. It would be nice if they divided them up in male and female, but Wild West accessories. Okay, I think it'd be fun to bring a horse into Blender. So let's I'm not sure that we're going to do that, but let's try this. We got a couple of different outfits, this one and this one. I think this one's more cowboyish. So let's do something with this. So we'll go to wardrobe and the outfit. Let's just put it on him. Oh, this is for Genesis 8 male. So, oh, and he's Genesis 9. So the only way to use this would be to auto fit it. West, let's type in West. I think it was called Wild West. Let's see if how much of this stuff actually came in. Just the hat. That's darn. And the cowboy hat. Oh, there's the cowboy hat. Well, let's try auto fitting it and seeing what happens. The hat worked. So we'll go now to take this off. The filter by context and put West in. Find the other. We'll auto fit it onto his body. Wild West. This is the one, I think. All right. This is the wrong hat. So where'd the hat go? Cowboy hat. I fit really nicely. So we're going to just Wild West poncho outfit. So we're going to go to double click, select Genesis 9 and just put this poncho outfit on him. And we're going to auto fit everything. And see how it works. Oh, this is going to require dForce. So we're good. This is even better. So, because the more you can pile on to Diffeomorphic, the better. That's what we're doing here. Is we're going to do bodysuit tight. This is the shirt, except, and that should put the shirt on him. That's what we want to do. We want to put Diffeomorphic through, so import every kind of anything in and see how it does. So that's, and this is how you learn, okay? So this is how you learn, is by importing things, many different kinds of things. With these are the pants, we want them also bodysuit tight template. And the shoes will be bodysuit tight. The hat will be bodysuit tight. We can always stretch the hat open. And we have the poncho is going to just be, we're just going to import it in. The poncho is going to have, okay, so now we've got chaps, and those would be bodysuit loose because they are going to go outside of the pants. So this is interesting. I don't know how many other accessories there are going to be here. Okay, these are the boots. Those are going to be bodysuit tight. You don't want the boots just hanging off them. You want them to fit. That's what you kind of expect. So you want them bodysuit tight. The belt would be bodysuit loose because it has to fit around the pants. It has to fit over top of the pants, so there needs to be a layer between the body. That's usually the criteria for, okay, so bodysuit loose for the belt. The criteria for whether if you use loose or tight is if there's a layer of something in between. Now there is a layer between the hat and the head, and that's hair. But I'm not going to worry about that right now. So, okay, we should only have one or two more things, the poncho and maybe the hat left to do. And we should be, is that it? Well, I guess we did it all. Okay, so the hat didn't work, but let's see if we can just nestle this down onto his head and see how that works. And that did work. Now we're going to take this poncho. We're not going to do the dForce on the poncho yet until we put him on the horse. Now if you notice, now let's see how the belt looks. It looks like the belt, everything went on just beautifully. See, this is how nice, at least like Genesis 8 clothes auto fit very nicely on Genesis 9. Genesis 3 and Genesis 2, like, oh my gosh, forget it. So, but this is nice. So I guess we'll leave these little pouches things, but I'm not really, I think I'm going to delete the pouches. I'm going to turn them off for a minute, and I just don't need the patches. They're going to be in the way, and I'm going to end up they're going to end up it causing a problem. They look cool, but all right. This is a nice suit. Now let's bring, okay, I'm going to bring the horse in so we can use the pose on him. We're going to use the Daz 3 horse. I mean, I think it's a Daz 3. Daz. We're just going to type in horse. It's too bad because actually my Daz 2 horse, I have so much stuff for it. We'll see. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to bring in the Daz 2 horse because I just, the horse, the Daz. Welcome, Ted. I hope you learned. I was actually pretty happy with myself over that review because I felt like I gave some really good, you know, there are tons of experts on Daz who don't know how to get the red out of the skin of their figures. They're talking about it right now, and they're all trying to find, you know, they want a one-click button thing, And so I'm proud of that last video because I felt like I gave people some good information in that. So this one we're going to try to do some real fun stuff too. I'm orchestrating. This one's going to be a Diffeomorphic. All of this is going to be taken into Blender, and it's going to be like kind of a fresh air. Like once you bring this into Blender, it's a really weird. It's a strange feeling. All of a sudden, it's like you're in another country or something, and you're visiting, and it's like amazing the feeling that you get. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to use the Daz. Okay, this is the Daz Horse 2. Let's go to default. I think I got look at all the horse stuff I have. And this is the Daz Mighty Stallion poses for Daz Horse 3. I think I have enough. I have a saddle and all of that stuff. See, I don't know if you've used any of the horse products. There's the Daz Horse 3 and the Daz Horse 2. And then it comes with, each of them come with a ton of stuff. They come with like horse armor. They come with different fur, different tail poses, different mane poses, and different saddles, and then some of them come with carts and buggies, and it's just like, oh my gosh, and poses. And so this is the track horse. Okay, English style track horse. So I'm not sure that I have as many things. I think I'm for the Daz Horse 3. But the thing is that Daz Horse 3 looks so nice. It just looks, it has a certain look. So I'm all right. We don't need to decide. All I'm going to do with the Daz Horse right now is put him on it so that we have something to kind of pose him to. So let's Western tack for Daz Horse 3. I'm going to go with the Daz Horse 3. I think I've got enough stuff to use it. So we got, okay, here's Mighty Stallion poses for Daz Horse. Where is the Daz Horse 3? Iron Ridge Horse. We'll use this horse Pasture in. See, this is what I've just learned how to do, is to bring in everything, even the HDRI, into Blender, everything. So if you set up your scene, you can bring it all into Blender. And I've even brought in ultra scenery landscapes into Blender with Diffeomorphic. I was up all night last night. I am surprised, and I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. I do drink decaf. Maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll have a cup of decaf. I love coffee, but I just don't drink caffeine. So Daz Horse, the base material set. So, okay, so this is the outfit. Okay, this is Stallion poses. We got to find the Daz Horse 3. One of these is the Daz Horse 3. Free Spirit poses for Daz Horse. So I have a ton. English style tack. We just got to find the Daz Horse 3. Now, I bought the Daz Horse 3 like long before. Okay, every time I do this, it goes past what I'm trying. That's Daz Horse 2, Daz Horse 2. The first thing okay, Daz Horse 3. So we got figures, and we're gonna bring, I think I'm gonna use a female horse so I don't have to deal with you know what, in the picture. So I can have the horse like rearing or up in the air, just to put it in any pose and not have to worry too much about, okay, thoroughbred, standard bred. I think the thoroughbred's probably going to look better. Let's see. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with it. I don't want it too muscly. And I'm just not sure exactly the difference. So we're going to go with the standard bred horse. So she's just going to look like a horse. I think that would be good. And we got to put a saddle on the horse, and then we can pose him. I'm going to have him posed before I sure did. I've made some videos on my Flock of Angels channel of the Brokeback Mountain. Took some stuff out of it. What a gorgeous film. It ended really sad. I cried. Cried my eyes out at the end. It was Heath Ledger just made me cry so hard. Yeah, he did a number on me. What a beautiful man he was. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful actor and man, and yeah, a perfect kind of guy. So we're gonna now bring this up. Y translate. Oh, that's the horse, Z. We got to grab a hold of this Genesis 9. Now his poncho should come up with him. Y translate. See, I don't want to... Okay, it didn't. Okay, why isn't the poncho coming up with him? All right, well, all right. I'm not going to worry about it. We'll just move him up, okay? And then we'll move the poncho where we need it. See, I need to get him on the horse and get him in his pose, then do the dForce on the poncho, okay? And I think we've got to do some dForce on the horse hair, okay? So the hair flops over the right way. That's why it's sitting up in the air. And what you can do is like use morphs and flip it over the other way. So when you use the dForce, it goes the other way. All right, so Y translate. Now, okay, we have riding. All right, so we're going to take this horse and put a saddle on her now. And we needed, it would be one of these products. Barding outfit. I don't know if that's a saddle. Let's see. Yeah. See, I don't know the term in outfit. Wearables. Horse barding outfit. So let's try this. Thank you, Pat. I'm on a roll. I got a notification from YouTube saying that they might allow my channel to get. Now, this is the barding. So I think the barding goes under the saddle. I don't know. Let's look at this in. Or maybe it's just like it goes under the saddle, or no. See, this isn't like what I'm looking for. See, so it's not like a saddle. So we're gonna go here. I have all of the Daz Horse stuff. Okay, this is the Daz Horse poses for English style tack, Genesis 9. Okay, so I think this is exactly it's good that we took and picked the Daz Horse because the Daz 3 rustic cart. I'm not going to use a cart, I don't think. Okay, we have hierarchical poses. All right, so we're looking for texture expansion. Okay, I've never heard. Okay, there's I've always called it a saddle. Why did they have to use like words like tack? I don't know what a tack is, but I guess it's a saddle. All right, so like horse and tack, I think there's like, I guess it's a term that I've just never really used or heard that much. Merge into the scene. Okay. I think I should just have clicked on it. Okay. All right. It went on the horse. That's all that matters. And he's kind of close to looking like he's sitting on the horse. So his poncho's in the wrong place, but let's lift this up so it's not going right through the horse. I think the horse is a little inconvenienced by that. All right, so we're going to use dForce on that poncho. His suit is so nice. I don't know that he even needs the poncho, but the poncho would add to the whole thing. So if we can get now, what we need to do is get the horse in a pose and reins, tack, horse rider in English horse tack, rider in saddle. Okay, H pose. So let's put this on the rider. Okay, so it didn't work. Let's try clicking maybe what we need to do is put this Genesis 9 guy inside the horse stuff. Then select the horse, because this is an H pose. And that didn't do anything. Let's select the Genesis 9 guy, and that didn't do anything. Standard bread. Okay, so nope. All right, let's. Okay, this is trotting. Let's get her in a trot in some kind of. All right, and now I don't see any poses for him. Rider and saddle. Let's take him out of here, unparent. Let's try him. That doesn't work. For more details, I could look at the log, but I'm just accessories. Okay, so I think all of the track stuff. Okay, so let's find some poses. Western hierarchical pose. Oh, maybe you select them both like this. Okay, so where was that tack? Oh, it's up here somewhere. I think this is it. Okay, all files. All right, you select them both. And nope. That didn't work. Okay, these are H poses. So what if I do them both with the H pose? And that's a trotting, running, load all. Okay, grazing, jumping. I think that's rearing, ramping, running. Okay, so no, those didn't work, and I don't want him. I may not even want him trotting. So it's not a bad pose, but it's not sending me that far right now. Spirit poses. I don't see anything for this is nice. I wonder if these actually work. Okay, that just put him in a different place. I like that a little bit better. These are nice poses for the horse. But I think they're a little bit kind of aggressive, but a Western tack. Okay, this is a whole other product. It's like, gosh. Let's see. I'm not. All right, this is an English tack. I think I might want the Western tack instead. I'm getting like all kind of, and we've got, how do we do this thing? That's the reins. Okay. Let's try this Western tack. I think the Western tack's more like what I'm looking for. Hope, okay. Yeah. That's more like it. And so we now find some, okay, this is horse 3, English poses, tack style, okay, poses. All right. Yeah, I just call it a saddle. That's what I call it, but it's a tack, I guess. And that's the way I am. So turning. I think this could be cool. So let's put this on. It's weird to kind of put him in the same place. Now, what if we put it this on the Genesis 9 character? No. All right, here. Let's try both of them. So I guess they're not. It's what if I just yeah, if select Genesis 9. And no, so it's just for the horse. I think I like this pose the best so far. I'm not sure. Okay. So let's look around for riding poses. Okay, okay, base material set. So this is a way to change the horses. So we'll run the dForce and this will plop over. Barding outfit. Okay, and we have a pasture. Okay, and Odin's Helper poses for Freya 9, Genesis 9, and Daz Horse 3. Here we go. Poses. I could do without the sword. These are a little bit too dramatic, but at least if I can get him sitting in this, and it looks like he's just she's sitting on the horse. She's not even sitting in a saddle. This one looks like it could work. So let's try that on him. No, that did absolutely nothing except moved his head down. Z. Poses. By function. Riding. It says Genesis 9, and he's Genesis 9. Okay, that did something. All right, that looks like a sort of a horse pose. That works. So for a moment I thought he was like he jumped right out of his clothes. So let's see now. We go out of iRay. This should give me at least a partial pose. That's what I was looking for. Get him sitting on the horse. It's good if you can get enough of a pose to. The only thing about this is it's a female pose, and so he's going to be a little bit. The female bends her pelvis different than a man. It's just kind of weird how female poses are parameters. So just the first thing you do is bend the pelvis a little bit back. And then you go here. That's the first thing. If you want to have him like in that kind of, what you do is you bend his abdomen in. So translate X. Okay. Oh, everything is now off kilter. And I can't see. All right, so we're going to go Z, X this way, okay. Y rotate, X translate. So it put him in a pose, but it has no connection to the horse. Okay, so now how do we get his feet in the stirrups? So we have to bend it back. Oh, this isn't going to be easy at all. Okay, I have to move this out of the way. We'll bring you back later. The hat's kind of in the way too, but well, we can move the hat too. All right, so we're going to twist him a little bit. Okay, rotate. We'll use these kind of settings. And that has to be way down at his feet. I don't know why. If I can get his feet twisted just right, we can get them into the stirrups. I think they're called stirrups, but there's probably another weird name for them. Okay, there's one. These are going to work. I think he's in the right position now. And so what we do is can we rotate? Yeah, we can. Well, that's not working, so we got to rotate the whole leg or the ankle, the foot. Is he ever in the right place, I guess? Why are these stirrups like they have like a lock, like a limit? Okay, bend. I just can use these better. Twist. Oh, the stirrup is bending with him? No. Okay. Twist. Horses are some of the hardest things to deal with in Daz. And I do have some experience riding horses. I've never owned a horse, but I have ridden the horse. Okay, now we have to go side to side, which is because his leg is going right through. And then twist this. Why are the limits so bad here? Everything is like trying not to allow me to twist. You'd think his leg would twist in a little bit more. Okay, so all right, stirrup. We got to go and select the stirrup, and then we've got to go to parameters. Okay, back here. Oh, I see. There's all these stirrup. This is a whole thing. So I can slowly turn these to meld around his leg. and this stirrup here, and this foot. If you can get it in the ballpark, and the stirrup, okay, where is the stirrup? Oi, oi, oi. So we're going to end up using this horse. I was going to like just use it to get his pose, and then I don't know why I wouldn't use it. I'm not sure that I'm going to import them. Maybe I'll import them all in one big thing. So we'll see. I'm not sure exactly right now, but there's a stirrup again. Here we go to stirrup 1. Okay, you would think it would go like this. Like that, and then like this. Okay, I see. And there is also, oh, this stirrup 1. Okay, oh, that's the other side. Okay, so we can go like this and bring it out a little ahead. And then we can twist it a little bit like this. Which way? And like this. Where's the other twist? Oh, there's one. And then like this. And we do the same thing here, a little bit of a twist there. And this one here brings it in, okay. And then we just bend that foot up here like this. And twist that in a little bit. And this. Yeah. So there we go. That's his foot's in the stirrup, and there it is. So there's one foot. And okay, so now we've learned about the stirrup here. So this one, we can move it ahead, which is the, you know, this like here. There we go. Move it ahead a little bit. And twist it a little bit like this. And then this one just got to go back like that. We got to take the other one back a little bit like this. And like that. And like this. Way back. So can I turn this in a little bit now? Yeah, just a little bit. This can come in, I guess, just a little. Oops, that's his horse leg, Z. We're talking about the stirrup here. Like that. Okay. Now let's see. Now he's got that darn poncho in so he's reaching out for the stirrup for the reins that are like way up there. How that's supposed to work, I'm not sure exactly, but oh, I guess you move the reins into each hand, like so. He's grabbing part of this rein, and I found the best way to do this is with mesh grabber. So to move the reins, so you can move them with little sliders, but it's just much easier to just use mesh grabber. I think it's going to be easier. Now I wonder if I use this pose thing here. This is the active pose tool. If I can grab a hold of this, yeah, this is kind of easy. And just kind of put some of this here and there. Now why there's 2 ropes? I don't know. I would think there was only supposed to be 1. Where's this rope coming from? And this rope is coming from which side? Yeah, well, I don't shy away from politics. I'm very outspoken. So is my family. Okay, now I'm seeing these. Okay, this right here is the reins. And we gotta pull this out. Like, find out which way they go. All right, this is really the best way, I guess, to do this is to pull this right out and just move it ever so gently in the way you want them. Oh, that one looks like it would work really well in this hand. Okay. See, and you just tilt this the right way and you can move them exactly where you want them. See, I want to move it this way, so I can pull it this way now. If I pull it this way, and now this right here, if I grab a hold of this, then I can go side to side, and I can use these and bend. There we go. And now this one, we got to bend this one out. And this is on the other side of his, this. No, not that, Z. Where's the other side of your rein? Here it is. Okay, I got to get it from going right through him. There we go. Bring this up around. And then we bring this up around this way. Okay, we got to pull this back out again. And then this. Come in. And here, you got to get the rein. And we can bend it now a little bit. No, this one side to side. Okay, that could go like that. And then we take this part here, right about there. And we bend that side to side like this. And then like this. And we pull on it a little bit. And we pull this out a little bit. We can use these little sliders. Pin this up. And over. Oops. We want to move his foot. Side to side. I am outspoken about politics because I'm a gay man, and I have I've lived my life you know, during my school years and all, I had to deal with a lot of bullying, a lot of things they forced me, you know, into having to speak up. And so, and you know, my dad was a sea captain on super tankers, and he used to make me, I think he knew what was coming in my life. And he was a free thinker, but he was happily married man, and you know, with close to well, it's, let's see, 8 kids. So he made 8 kids. So well, 7 kids. And so he used to make me build rock walls, and he was a shriner. He knew what was coming for me in my life. He knew that I was going to have to that I was going to have it tough, and he taught me to think, you know, and he was like a moderately religious man. A lot of Shriners are not incredibly religious. They believe in God. That's just about it. That's about as far as their religion goes. And so he one time took me to the bookshelf, and there was his Mormon Bible, because he was Norwegian, and a lot of Norwegians are Mormons and all, and not Mormon, his Lutheran Bible. And it was sitting there on the shelf, and he said, "Do you know, of all these books on the shelf here, that my favorite book on the shelf here is," and he pulled out a book by Thomas Paine called The Age of Reason. He said, "This is my favorite book on the books in this bookshelf." And it was like, "Why are you telling me this, Dad?" You know, this kind of thing, like, "Come here, son. I must tell you something." You know, and it was just like, and now I understand why. The Age of Reason, Thomas Paine is probably one of my favorite thinkers in the world. And so we're going to grab this, and we're going to bend this down. And bend this down here. There it goes. He's grabbing this stuff. Okay, why does that look like it's going through his belly? I suppose this could bend out. There. And that could pull down a little bit. Perfect. Bend this in a little bit. Okay, this is it. Okay. Now, will this look what's, okay, this he looks like he is turning. Okay, will this work with, will this import into Blender, okay, after we do, so we're going to do some really complex, and since I'm only going to be doing dForce, I believe, on these, what's nice about Diffeomorphic is that you can take and export this bunch of stuff into Blender, then export this bunch of stuff into Blender, and export this bunch. You can do it in waves. You don't have to have it all ready and export it all into Blender like that. And so that's what's nice. You just keep exporting stuff into Blender. And so that is what it... I was once invited to the party where the gals brought pizza and the guys brought beer, and they asked me what I am going to bring. where the gals brought pizza and the guys brought beer, and they asked me what I. That's you know, that's almost sounds sexist, like for that somebody's saying, well, are you going to bring pizza or beer? Are you a girl or a guy? You know, and the thing is that that sounds a little bit like bullying, okay? But the thing is that you will find that the people that push your sexuality buttons the most are the most insecure. And I don't mean that in a negative way that they're insecure, but I mean in the sense where they have a hidden side and they're out being bisexual just as well, you know. And they're pushing your buttons, and they're going to do it in front of a whole bunch of people because they're kind of immature, and they don't know how to deal with their own feelings and sexuality. Pepto-Bismol. Well, to me, I saw that as a loaded sexual questions. That if you're going to go out and bring pizza, then you're a girl, kind of thing, and you know, be a man and bring beer, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's hard to say. So this, I'm going to have to orchestrate this in a very kind of intense way here, because this is, I'm going to have to make the horse disappear. I don't think I can. And now I'm going to show you guys another product. I'm full of all kinds of hidden products, you guys, that you probably have not really heard of yet. And I'm going to turn you on to a new product right now, so that I think you'll find very interesting. And it's just as soon as I get this posed. See, it could go through his fingers like that. So, all right. So, what I'm going to talk to you about next is a product called dForce Companion. Have you guys heard of dForce Companion before? And yeah, Pat, that it's fine to be, you know, you have to be happy in your own skin and just live without don't judge yourself and don't let others judge you, and just live the best life. You know, it's like we can look and say, well, I wasn't born, you know, Brad Pitt or whatever, you know, or I wasn't born rich, you know, I wasn't born all these things. But you know what? We were born. We were all born. And you know, do you know the odds, the sheer odds of living in a universe and being alive right now out of this big gigantic, out of all the little seeds that could have grown humans, and they never did, and all the eggs that could have grown humans, and they never did. So there's so much to be happy about. There's so much to just be okay about in this world. So now I'm thinking, see, the problem is that if I have to hide the saddle. I need to do these dForces in different waves, okay? And so this dForce companion, it doesn't always work, and they came out with the dForce companion 1, and then they came out with the dForce companion 2, and oh, the dForce companion 2 is the very best thing in the world. And all of his clothing is dForce companion, and what they said was, oh, the problem with the dForce companion not showing up other items is fixed in the dForce companion 2. Okay, and it wasn't. There's just a bunch of dForce stuff that doesn't show up in. But what's nice about this, okay, is that I can come in here and I can take and turn off the horse, okay, and then when I run a simulation, and I don't want it visible, so I would think this would make it didn't make it invisible. So I'm just gonna turn this off, okay, in here, okay, and I think I'm going to turn it off here. It might as well, okay. So we're going to just turn these off as visible. I think that means visible, okay? But the horse didn't disappear. So what we'll do is come in here, and when you turn them off in here, then when you run the simulation, it ignores them. Oh, this is so important, because I can't put this poncho over him and have it draped down over with these reins in the way. Okay, and I can't put and look at this, all of this, the saddle. So it just stops. These are dForce items, okay, and it stops them from running this through the simulation, okay? They ignore the simulation. That's why this Man Friday dForce companion is important, because it allows you to selectively. Otherwise, you run dForce and everything that's dForce in the scene just starts going. And I think there was this something like you can hide it and stuff. I'm not sure that actually works all the time. So we go now into this horse, and we're going to hide the horse, okay? So we go like this, and everything, it's all grayed out, but it's also, it says, see where this check, it says simulate. So it's not going to see, even though the horse is simulating, it might still try to simulate. So now we can put, hopefully, this is going to work, is we're going to bring this poncho over. We're going to go into this move here command, bring the poncho over, and let's see what happens when we put this poncho on him. See if this is now going to, let's angle it a little bit. I don't think I have to, but we'll bring it down a little bit, and which, as long as it's not touching his shoulders from the beginning. His shirt is dForce, the poncho is dForce. Now I'm going to turn this a little bit like this, a little bit, and a little bit like this, so it all kinds of falls at the same rate. And we're going to go like that. Just make sure it's not going through anything or touching his face or his neck. Okay, we got a little bit of touch there. And that it's not touching side to side. That's good, I think. So, all right. I don't think that matters if the hat's on his head or not, because the hat's not dForce. But we'll just put it in place for the simulation so it kind of looks cool. All right. And a little bit over to the side here. And it looks like the hat's in place. So, all right, now we have to go to our simulation settings and make sure the initialization bones are off. And we click simulate. And it should ignore the horse mane, ignore all the horse, everything. It shouldn't see those. Now look, it went past his hands. That's what I wanted it to do. And his pants are simulating, his shirt's simulating, it's all simulating, and it's done. So that's how you do it, people. That's how you simulate stuff. Now we need to hide him and the poncho and everything. So we go to dForce, and what's really weird is the poncho isn't here. And so if I go like this, it doesn't matter because the poncho is already done. So I don't think it's going to lift back up and try to. But now what we're going to do is turn the horse back on. And then we're going to take our Genesis 9 figure, turn him off, hide him. He's turned off. We're going to turn the ear, the hair, the head. Okay, the hair, the head. That's weird how. And we'll visible, I guess. I don't know what that means. But we're going to do that. And then the poncho. Where's the poncho? I knew there was something about this poncho that it was like it's not. All right, we're just going to turn it off. Hopefully all of that remains right where it is with it turned off. Now I have to hide the saddle. Yeah, the dForce companion is very, very useful when simulating dForce things. Okay, so it's something I recommend. All of these things, you don't have to have them yesterday, even though I got them. But you don't have to have them because you know what? I waited and I got them on sale. And most of these things, like I said, most of the stuff I buy, I watch them and watch them and watch them and watch them. And then Daz will say, oh, we'll give you, these artists, we're going to give you their products at 50% off or 60%. And I usually wait until it's like 80% off and buy it. So that's the thing. Put it in your wish list, okay? And because don't, I just, I hate to say it, but don't pay full price for it. Okay, it just don't pay full price for anything. Okay, those prices they exaggerate the prices. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hide now. We want the tail, the muzzle hair, the mane head, the ear hair. We want all of that to plop down. Okay, but there's a problem because this saddle is in the way. Okay. So we have to take this Western saddle and hide it so that when the hair plops down, it will plop down, and then when we put the saddle back on, it'll go over top of the hair, and the hair won't interfere with the saddle. As you can see, the hair here is going right through the saddle. You can't have that, okay? So we have to hide the saddle, and we have to hide the stirrup, the reins. Where are those? So let's select this, like here. The jaw, scapula. And it would be here in the jaw. No, that was his jaw. Let's see, that. Bit. Okay, that's the bit. Oh, tell me these are all little pieces. Where the bit, it doesn't matter. I don't think the bit matters. It's these reins. Here they are, the Western reins. I hope I can find these things to turn them back on again. So, all right, the reins are gone. Now we're going to do this visibility here. We're going to turn those off just to make sure that we cover all our bases here with this. I don't know what this smooth in the smooth column corresponds to enable smoothing property under mesh smoothing in the respect. I don't think it's going to matter here, okay? So then we go back to this simulation and we click simulate. And now all that should... Oh, that was a little bit too little. Okay, so we got to use the timeline. That was... Oh, if I click clear, I'm going to just leave that on. Now we're going to go... I don't think I can simulate again. All right. All right, so what we'll do is we're going to go into here, and we're going to go simulation. This isn't good. This isn't good. Okay, so I hate using the timeline to simulate things, because then you end up with these keyframes for everything in your scene. It's a nightmare to deal with. I just wish I could simulate this for longer. That's just not enough time to simulate that to lay. All right, so we're going to set the timeline to a total of 50 frames. And we're going to go animated timeline, play range. I think that's all. We just go like this and simulate. So that's not enough either, so we got to go through to 150. All right, and simulate. That might work. That might, I've not tried that before. Let's hope this works with the main. Yeah, it looks like it did. All right, now the test is going to be when we bring the Cowboy in and put the did it mess up his simulation running these other simulations? We turned everything off and it shouldn't have, but when we turn him on, we're going to find out if his poncho is all messed up and everything. See, this is really bad. Where's his poncho? So this messed up his poncho. So the Man Friday thing didn't really work, okay, because his poncho is somewhere, God only knows where. It fell down into oblivion or something. I don't know. Oh, it might be turned off. Okay, I think I have it turned off. Okay, so we may not have failed here. Let's see. So let's go. There's the poncho. Oh, it's there. So it did work. So then we turn back on the tack, Western reins. Okay, we turn them back on. And that's all good. And we turn on the Western saddle. And look what we've got. We've got Cowboy with his horse. Okay, so this is very, very nice. And we now can go into iRay. Let's close this down. So that's got to stay at 150 forever now, which I hate about this. But once we bring him into Diffeomorphic it's just going to import one frame, which would be frame 150. And you know what? Oh, other than we got to put some hair on his head, we are we are ready to import the horse and him into Diffeomorph into Blender. So here it is. This is going to be the fun time. So I'm just going to put some kind of short hair on him. Real short. It's just something that you can see that he has sideburns and all. And settings, okay. Let's see what we've got. Control alternate minus. That is my hotkey to close all this up. And so now we have to find hair. Okay, so we're going to scroll up here, come out of there, go to hair, and I'm going to use this shaved because it won't interfere with his hat too much. But it'll give us a little bit for, this is for Genesis 8 male. Now I'm going to tell you something. The converter clothing, there's like clothing, and they kind of implied that you could also convert hair, and it would convert hair items in for Genesis 9. So Genesis 8 hair and beards and body hair and all of that, none of that works. It will convert all your hair. Don't even bother to convert hair or beards or anything to Genesis 9 from Genesis 8. It just doesn't work. The only way it really works is to just use Autofit. Because and I don't know why their converter does a worse job than Autofit. Don't ask me. And the clothing converter is really, it does a better, much better job than Autofit. But the hair converter is absolutely terrible. So okay, so we're going to do this hair, and we're going to go short base, short hair, I guess. And we're going to auto fit it to his head. And come on. And I've been working all this time, and I haven't saved this yet, but now he's got now he has hair. Look at that. So this works, okay. So don't even bother to convert hair with the clothing converter. Or, yeah, don't bother. All it does is trash up your smart content with hair items that are completely garbage. So don't do it. Now, all right, so what I'm going to do is save this. We're going to save this as we'll save it as Western Rider, okay? Scene. Okay, Rider. Okay, I want to give him a beard as well. So we have to save this in this Diffeomorphic folder, okay? And we'll save it here for now, and I'm going to save it again. You have to save it in a special folder and tell Diffeomorphic that that's the magic folder where you're going to use to save stuff. You have setting up Diffeomorphic is difficult. Okay, I don't know, you guys missed that first part of this video. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it was daunting to me. It took me a long time before I finally just said, I don't care what it entails. I'm going to get this set up and make it work. And that's what I did yesterday. I just said, you know what really did it? And it's funny psychology, because I went on there and I said, I can't get my poses to convert to Genesis in Blender. And when I bring the figure in and I try to put the pose on, it won't work. And somebody went into the forum and said, use Diffeomorphic, and I use Diffeomorphic. Yeah. I'm so tired of people saying use Diffeomorphic. And so then I was reading in the forum, and somebody else came in and said, oh, I can't seem to get the hair to go right for the Daz the Blender bridge. I can't. And that same person went and said, use Diffeomorphic. And I thought, you know, lady, why don't you listen to him? He's trying to help you. Use Diffeomorphic. You know, it's that reverse psychology kind of thing. It's like when they tell me to do it, it's like, all right. But when somebody else, they're telling somebody else it, all of a sudden it sunk into my head. You know, maybe I was being empathetic about it. It's like, yeah, maybe you should listen to them. Like, maybe I should. It's funny. But so yesterday I just went straight V line and said, I don't care what it takes within the next 4 or 5 hours. I am going to learn how to use Diffeomorphic. And this is the magic. This is what we're going to do. Now, what I need to do is select this hat and hide it. We're not ready yet. We've got to make sure everything is right. This is almost like the best pose right here to get him from this angle. I think he looks the coolest right there. So maybe a little bit like this. So yeah. So all right. So use Diffeomorphic, people. Go out, get it installed, learn how to use it. Learn how to install it, and you will find, and it's not perfect, but it's really amazing. So we may find that it won't import Daz Horse. We might find we did all this work, and I might have to set this scene up in Daz, and you know, and the reason why I want to do this in Blender is because every time I get a scene in Blender, I learn more stuff in Blender. And Blender is a modeler. The stuff you can do in Blender, now it looks like, remember when I did this scene, this poncho, he wasn't on the horse. There was no saddle here. But this all worked. It, like, how that just came in and worked really. So this is so perfect the way this is going. Now there is a problem here with this stirrup. I need to do something here. It's going through his pants in a weird way. I don't know what to do. Let's see. Let's go to side to side, maybe. Yeah, there we go. This does a little bit of something there. All right. Makes it show a little more too. It's just little things like that have to be fixed. And now you notice this, it's going through his hand. So we're going to just take a little bit of this and tug that up a little. Oh, this one right here. We just, what is it? Which one is it? This. And we Okay. All right, there we go. Well, that is what we're going to do. Ted, I know how to sculpt in Blender. I've just learned it, and it is so easy. You just pick what tool, and you just start sculpting, and the tools. I mean, mesh grabber is like crude and crude compared to the tools. You just pick the tool and almost all of them do what you want it to do. And it's like I've been working with like fabric and I just like, why can't I just smooth this fabric out? Why can't I just smooth these lines? Why do I have to move every little vertex? And Blender has those tools. You will be very, very, very pleased about the smoothing and sculpting tools in Blender. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So this hat, I need to select the hat. We're going to hide it for a moment and make sure that his hair is it's fitting his scalp correctly. And I don't see any problems. Usually this hair does not fit the scalp correctly. It usually doesn't contour the scalp very well. But in this case, it is perfect. And what I don't see is hair coming through the hat, which is another, there's a little bit of hair there, but not very much. And we could take this hat here, and we could just take and add a little bit, adjust head sides. Just bring it out a little bit. There we go. Make sure we didn't really just do something really weird with it. I think maybe if I go back into the hat and bring the sides back in a little bit and just pull the hat over to the side a little bit like this. Yes, well, I might be able to touch on some of that today, but I might be able to just show you some quick things that will excite you very much because it's really, really amazing. So this front back of the hat, adjust forehead, head back. Look at that. See, this is really nice. Head size, head top is fine. Adjust forehead. So we bring that, and then we can pull this ahead a little bit like this. It just fits him like a T. All right, now we're going to pull this over a little more. See how far we can pull this over. I see a little bit of hair coming through on the side there. And there's no hair there, so this is as good as you could possibly. Now, notice there's something wrong with him. He has no eyebrows. And that would have been terrible to get him into Blender and find out he doesn't have eyebrows. And we're going to give him a beard. We're going to give him everything, the whole 9 yards, and then boom, 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 boom. Import everything together into Blender and see if this works. I'm kind of trusting Diffeomorphic because it's amazing. What I saw happen last night was just completely blew me away with Diffeomorphic. So we got hair here. We're going to get rid of shaved, the word shaved. And then we come into, now they do that all the time. They make these models and they put like the most awesome beard on them. And it's like, he doesn't come with a beard. So I see he just comes with hair, but there's that beard there. And it's just like, why didn't you sell me that beard? So, all right. I don't know if you, I think you guys have been to the Daz store today. So, all right, this guy, Genesis 8.1 male. I think he has a beard. Head. No. No beard. Okay. Let's go into hair. Okay, we are in hair. Well, then why is he in? All right. So the first thing we're going to do is this essentials. Let's get him some eyebrows. Okay, so we'll go to this essentials. We have to select him. Starter essentials, Genesis 9. Where's the other essentials? Oh, we're in hair. We got to go to default. And this is this expansion. And there are our eyebrows. And let's go with, like, try these. Well, that works, I guess. Yeah. And let's make sure they're the right color. And then we're going to give him a nice little beard. I think we'll give him like a Civil War beard or something. Yeah, those eyebrows work. And so he's going to look, he's a young guy. So he's between like 18 and 30. Okay? But when we give him the beard, he's just going to look more manly but still have that kind of youthfulness about him. So that's an interesting way to look at your figures is their actual age. Okay, this is a 5 o'clock shadow. That's for Genesis 9. I don't think that's going to work. Oh, and that's not going to give me that kind of Civil War beard. And I don't want to give him a troll beard. Maybe not the Civil War beard. Maybe it's not something that huge. Of a beard. Genesis 8 and 8.1. Again, you auto fit. If you want to use body hair on a Genesis 9 figure, use auto fit. Don't convert it until they fix the converters. This looks like it might work. It's kind of discreet, but it looks very nice. Now, okay, so we have him selected. Auto fit, which is Genesis 8. So we go Genesis 8 male, and you select base tight bodysuit tight template. At least that's worked for me. Watch this guy transform as soon as that beard gets on him. He's gonna get, all of a sudden, it's just gonna take on the whole persona. Let's see. There it is. See? See what that does? And that kind of works. Now we're going to go into a little bit of colorization. The eyebrows are the right color, but the beard needs to just be darkened. It might have a little too much green. So we're going to kind of reflecting on the last tutorial that we had about going. That's what you do is you select the raker beard. You go into surfaces. Okay. And this is already PBR. That's when you can see that you got a ton of different things here for this. Luckily, it's all in one. It's all one thing. It's not like there's a different patch for here and a different patch for that. So what we can do, the root transmission color, tip transmission color, and then root hair color and root tip color. Okay, so we're going to just follow this whole pattern of making them just a little darker. Okay, like here and here. Root and viewport color isn't anything. A little bit darker here. The tip transmission color, that's pretty dark. And it might be the highlight color that's doing it. Let's go to this highlight color and bring that down quite a bit. And that is it. I wouldn't mind seeing it kind of really dark. There we go. There it is. Beautiful. So, I think, now we're going to save this. I think our cowboy is ready, and his horse. Look how beautiful that mane fell. They're ready to go into Blender. Okay, it's saving. So now we have our DUF file saved. The DUF file is what you load into Blender. Okay, so when you go into Blender, you find the DUF file and you load it in. And hopefully I can remember how to do this. So, but before you can go, you have to create another file. And you have to create this weird file, and you have to give that file the same exact name as your DUF file. It has to be exact or it won't work. So as soon as we get him imported into Blender, then we're going to come in here and we're going to create a terrain with an HDRI, and we're going to export that out. This exports out your camera. It exports out your HDRI. It exports out. So I'm not too concerned about the camera being exported out. If I have to, I'll delete it. I'm not sure exactly which camera I'm going to use, because I'll set the camera up and find the right angle, move everything where I want it once I get it all into Blender. So, okay, so this is now saved. So now it creates these two things here. It says export to Blender, export HD to Blender. I don't know the difference here, but what I'm just going to do is select this Genesis 9 first. Now the horse may not import into Blender. Okay, we got to put the poncho on this, and hopefully it doesn't move on us, and it didn't. The poncho, that we're lucky that there's a way to parent something in place. Okay, just keep that in mind, that if you ever go to parent something and you drag it into it, if you right click on that item, there's a drop down which says parent in place, and so it won't move it out of place. Okay, so I don't know what I'm doing at all here, but I kind of do. So I'm going to go into, so when it created, Diffeomorphic created these two folders, they don't work. If I click on them, nothing happens. But what I did was I took and went down into the scripts themselves. It's because I maybe had a failed attempt to install this all into Daz a while back. So what I just did was I took and put this up in my favorites, the script, so I could get at it easy. Now it knows that the name of the project is westernrider.duf, so it's created another folder called westernrider.dbz. They have to be in this special folder that you tell Blender that's the folder that I use for my projects. You have to tell Blender all these folders, and some of them it will generate this list of all your folders, all of your runtimes, all of those folders, and just pass that list on to Blender, so you don't have to tell it all these like 10 or 15, because I have about 10 or 11 different, like my Daz 3D library. I have 10 more of them in my thing of stuff that of folders that I've created that have like renderosity stuff and all kinds of other stuff, converted characters. So you just click save. I think this takes a while, but I'm not sure. No, you just click save. It already now it's doing something here. Okay. It's this dup file that it's going to import in. Export to Blender. It says it's done. Okay. Saved in 16 seconds. Okay. So now we open up Blender. Finally. And we open Blender. This is exciting. Okay, click and go Control A, is it? No, just A, and that deletes everything in the scene, and we delete everything. Just hit A, it selects everything in the scene, and you delete it. Then you open up this little arrow here and come here to this, and just click Import Daz, and these are characters. Okay. And these, so you can bring in characters. I don't think these are morphed characters. I don't know the difference here, but we're just going to bring in Daz. Must be exist in the same directory for characters and other objects. Let's just do it. If it comes in wrong, this happens so quickly you will not believe it. It loads into Blender faster than it loads into Daz. If it works. It's doing something, I think. Oh. I think I have to tell it where the file is. Because error. No files, valid files selected. Import Daz. Okay, that would help. So we have to go to where the, and would be in Diffeomorphic projects. I don't know what the heck this stuff is, but all right. Now it's in here. This is the westernrider.duff. And we characters import. The horse is a character. The I don't think the horse is based on Genesis 8. On a Genesis 8, but the horse has bones. Watch this just work. I bet everything is going to just work. It's just going to come in, and that's going to be like pristine, like there. The only thing I noticed that some of the textures look weird. So they look okay, and but they just don't look like it got it right. Hair textures didn't look. Some of them didn't look like they were wearing a plastic wig or something. Kind of weird. Okay. Warning, some assets were not found. Check all the Daz root paths have been set correctly. Okay, so this is not good. Because what I'm not seeing is a lot of things. I'm not seeing the figure didn't come in. So this is all like horrible. So easy. So we go Z, undo this, and we try again. And we go down here. Let's try morph characters. And we do it again. Because there's a bunch of stuff. The last character I did, I just might have overdone it with just like way too much stuff. There's only these two options, and everything else I think is turned on. It's taking a little longer, I think, this time. No, see, this didn't work. It didn't work. My figure didn't even come in. What did I do wrong here? What is it that I did wrong here? Okay, now he's just not. Last time he was in his pose. This time he's not. This isn't good. Import. Unmorphed. And okay, let's try bringing this figure in and see. This is a figure I made with angel wings. This is okay. So something is wrong here. Don't save. I've done something wrong here. Because that figure I imported in yesterday. So there's no need to close this down. So it could be just need to reopen this. Close that. Delete. Open this. Daz importer. Global settings. Load settings file. Okay, let's go into Daz here, and way down at the bottom of this. There's a step I'm not doing right here. Be here.
Want to point this plugin to where our Daz Studio files are. So we're going to want to make sure that and locate where you save your Blender files. There's going to be a .json file there.
Maybe it didn't remember them. Global settings. Okay, I may not have saved the content. Okay. See, these are not in the right place. That's what's wrong. Load root paths. Now I saved those root paths here. The JSON file. Okay. Then we go back here. Now this is correct. These are all of my paths now. Okay, so this is okay. Now we should be able to import this. We'll go just the regular Daz file, and go here to here, Western Rider, complex stuff. See, I didn't know that you had to reload that every time you reinitialize a project or anything. You have to load all of those directories. So it knows where all of the stuff is in your Daz content library. It's loading it from your content library. It couldn't find the figures. It found the clothes, which is kind of weird. And what told me that something had changed was yesterday I just clicked on that angel. I imported Morningstar wings on the angel, and the angel's pose, all the angel's clothes, the angel's hair, their eyebrows, all of that stuff, all of this stuff on the angel. Look at this, and look at how quickly this happened. Look at what we've got, and it looks like the colors aren't there, but it's all here, people. Look at this. That's our horse, and if we go into everything is perfect. Now if we go into our cycles rendering engine, GPU, I'm very happy. So we're back on track again. Okay, so we just go into cycles, and here's our rents. It's trying to generate all the textures. Give it a moment. Out of thousands. Oh, look at this. So now you notice the horse's hair looks a little weird, but the lighting is everything looks fine except the hair. It looks a little weird color, but it will render a little better than this. We're still in some kind of viewport view, and all these weird things, I'm not sure how to get rid of them, but they're not going to be in the render. Now so there's our first part. So now we're going to save this, and we're going to call this Western Rider, save as, so we don't have to do that again. So this is in my Daz to Blender projects. We'll call this is a Blender file. So Western. Okay, Western Rider. Save. So now we're going to take go to our Blender file. See, he looks so much better in Blend right here. So what we're going to do is take and create a group now. And if I select this and select that, select the horse and select him, then click this group icon, and then just give it a label here, and just going to call this Western Rider. All right, we'll make a group. Hopefully it will all go into this group without anything kind of going amiss here. Then what I'm going to do is get a kind of nice little camera angle here. And then, which is good here, then we're going to go to our file, save as scene subset, and we're going to call this Western Rider. I mean, you don't have to do this, but if something goes wrong, I can always come back, and I still have this. I don't need the tone mapper or the environment option. Click OK, accept. I'm just saving this into my saved, my user saved files. So it's saving here. So then I can theoretically delete him out of this scene and start working on this scenery that we're going to use and put the horse and him in. And I already have an idea. We're going to use that horse meadow that came with the Daz, one of the scenes that came with the Daz Horse, 3 horse. So we're going to put them in a meadow, and then we're going to find a really nice, so we're going to, now we're going to do an environment. It's going to be fun. Okay. It's gotten kind of hot outside, and I don't want to turn my air conditioner. It's not really that loud. It's just a kind of a fan in the room. So as long as I hydrate, I think I'll be okay. Okay, so it just saved him in the all the horse, him and all the horse stuff in this Western Rider folder. So we're gonna just delete him now. Hopefully, cross our fingers and delete that. Hopefully we can bring that back if we need it. So we go now out of here, and we're going to type horse again. Go to here, and here it is, the Horse Ridge Pasture environment. Scene, right click, merge into scene. Now that Blender has all of those directories, it knows, and I'll show you those directories. This is why you have to load that in. Look at this meadow and all. This is going to be nice in Blender. Look at this. This is not an image picture. This is okay. So we can put the horse anywhere in here we want. Now we'll go to my content library, and I'll show you a little bit about because I have this my Daz 3D library. Then I have a miscellaneous. I have my Renderosity library, Rissy clothing library, 8 to 9 characters, 8 to 9 hair, 8 to 9 clothing, 8 to 9 figures. Those are actual DUF files with scenes with the figures in them. And 3 to 8 characters that I've converted, 3 to 8 clothing, and then you take the clothing, you convert it from Genesis 3 to Genesis 8, then you convert it from Genesis 8 to Genesis 9. Okay, so 3 to 8 hair, 3 to 8 to 9 poses. So these are my Genesis 3, Genesis 8, and Genesis 9. I mean, this Genesis 3 and Genesis 8, all of my Genesis 3 and Genesis 8 poses converted to Genesis 9. So all of these directories Blender has to have. And so there is a script, and you just run the script, and it looks in this full place where these are in Daz, and it creates a JSON file that you can just load in Blender. It saves you a ton of time from having to go and put in all of these, like the drive letter and all of this stuff. So I just load that, and then all of the directories that I normally use, the directory that I put my projects in, the directory, all of that stuff is loaded into Blender all at once, and everything works. So now we're going to save this file. What's this called? Pasture. We'll just call it Cowboy Pasture. Save scene. Okay. Okay, guess what? We don't need an HDRI. We got something here. I don't know what this is. If that's let's look at our environment settings and parameters. Okay, it's using the cheat sky. Okay, so I don't want to use this. Okay, sun, sky only. So we're going to go to dome and scene, and we're going to put our own sky up here. So we're going to put an HDRI sky. Now, it might be able. Daz does have something like a sun and that type of sky, but I'm not sure that it would convert, and I think that's an add-on that needs to be activated in Blender, in order to use that. It's a third-party add-on. I think it's free, but I'm not sure. But it gives you that the whole day and the time of day and where the sun is and how big the sun is and all that stuff that you can use in Blender, just for your information. So we're going to now go to render settings, get rid of this word horse up here, our keyword, and find a pretty sky. There's a sky set that I've been liking a lot lately. This one. Been finding this to be kind of nice. There's some of these skies in this particular set. Well, that's not. So I might have to turn them up a little bit. Okay, now the clouds. We already have clouds here, so we're going to get rid of these clouds, these VDB clouds. We're just going to use this sky here. And now the thing is the sun. I'm going to leave this because it's got some kind of weird, like, cyclorama thing going on with these trees and all. We just leave all that. There's a tree cyclorama around. And what is this? Yoga play ball? We don't need that. Jump steel. Okay. I think these are, okay. I don't think I want any of these props here. They're like, it's like a horse. It's like a little horse corral thing for taking maybe kiddie rides or something. I don't know. We don't need that. Well, I think we might put the horse in the corral here. Okay, let's go out of iRay. Let's see how much of this shows up in. This is a pretty big scene. So, wow, I'm amazed at how nice this shows up in. Okay, now we have a camera. We have a camera in the scene. Let's see. This says cameras, camera tree. Let's see which camera we like. Camera tree, camera wide. And we want to be up close to the camera 0. Where's the, okay, the corral here. Oh, that's camera 0. Camera paddock. How did that not work? Okay, camera paddock. Okay, we're in the inside of the. Okay, I think this is where I'm going to want the camera. So we may save this camera and the camera trowel. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Oh, this is, I think that we're going to keep that one. So we'll leave one of these cameras in the scene. It might make things easier. And we'll just get rid of the group and take the camera right out. Unparent, trowel. And I love this view here, but let's see what the sky looks like here. We'll move the HDRI around so that it looks good at this particular angle. Let's see, environment, parameters, and dome rotation. Oh, that looks nice, kind of. Oh, we almost got a sun in here. Now I'm going to show you guys something about, and gals, I'm going to show you something about Filament. Now, when you notice when I go into you probably have already seen me teach this or explain this or pass this information on, let's put it that way, is that when I go into texture shaded mode, there's no sky. And so you can't tell where your what your HDRI is doing. And so the other alternative is to go into iRay, okay, and try to move the HDRI, and it's so sluggish and everything. But one thing that's really interesting about Filament is that if you go into Filament and you give it a moment, it will take that your HDRI sky. You don't have to go in and change all the intensity, you know, the exposure and all that stuff. Just leave it like that. But if you notice, it shows me my HDRI sky, so I can then rotate it a little bit more easily. And let's see what we got. We have something going on here. Where? So you can go all the way around the sky here. But what I can also do, okay, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to do something really special here. We're going to put a plane in the scene. Create a plane. And then we're going to raise the plane up a little bit. Where's the plane? Okay, all right. What I'm going to do is lock this camera for now. I have a little thing here to lock it. Okay, make sure it's locked, and it is. You notice all the locks go on there. So now we're going to go to our perspective view and find out where this plane is. And where's the plane? Show me the plane. Okay, there's the plane. So we then take this like this. This is one of my little secrets, okay, for making scenes. I think I have to go like this. It might be upside down, but we're going to change this to 90. Well, you just fidget with the numbers until you get it right, but you know 90 degrees is going to put it at a right angle. And so then I'm going to push this Z, I think. Okay, we're at the left, so this would be X. I'm going to push this way out to the end of the world. Out beyond the mountains. Okay, we'll scale it. And what was it, Z again? No, X. Okay, so it's not going fast enough, so what I'm going to do, let's see if I can add a couple more, maybe 5. And scale it up again. And we're going to add a couple more, maybe 9, till it's out beyond the mountains, and it's not yet. Okay, so we're going to add another 5 and scale it up and see if we're out beyond the mountains now. Come on. There it is. So let's go back to our camera. And now we have to move it over. Which way? Okay, let's grab this. Let's go to this. And all right, okay, I think which way was it going? Were we going up or down? Oh, that's Y. Okay, we don't need to mess with Y. Not yet. And let's go to, we're going to put this plane inside of our pasture scene. And the camera, we might as well put inside the pasture scene as well. And that just, we can't do that. Unparent the camera because it's locked. You can't put it inside there when it's locked. So we're going to go Y, I think. What would be red? I think red is translate. Z. Okay. So we're going up. So we're going to go here with 3. Let's go 9. All right, let's add another 5 on that. No, let's go 2. And then let's go here and let's rotate this thing. And let's move it up a little bit. Now let's scale it. X, is it? Yeah. All right. Now we go to surfaces and we go in here and we take our and find our base color. And we look down through here and find the HDRI that's in our scene. And it's right there. And we put that on our base color. All right. Then we put it on our translucency weight. I don't think we have to put it on the translucency weight, but we'll do it anyway. So we go to find that. It's right here. Put that there. And we put it on our emission color. And we put it on, then we give the emission color a white. And we put this also on the luminance. And now we go into iRay. Let's give this a little bit of a looms. We'll give, say, 2. How about 9? How about another 2 here? See, look how much more detailed this sky is than the other one was. Now we can go up to maybe 5. Because you've taken that sky that was wrapped all the way around this world, okay, and squished it. And when you squished that sky, you took all of those bits of detail and you put them into a small little area. And so look what we have here, and that cowboy is going to look so nice in front of this like incredibly detailed sky. So let's now take this a little bit and now let's even it out. Let's go into our texture shaded mode. And what's nice about this sky is you can see this sky in texture shaded mode. You can't see the HDRI, but you can see this. So I can look at this and say, okay, what's going on with this sky here? So what I want to do is angle, now unlock my camera a little bit here. And unlock it. And then we'll take and point. We'll go down a little bit towards the ground a little bit. And we'll point the camera up. We got to be on the inside of this fence. Okay. So we're going to go down towards the ground a little bit and point the camera up. So we'll be looking up at the cowboy. And then we take this and just even it out a little bit. And look at all the sky real estate we're going to have now when we pull this up. Look at this. See? That, and what you can do is resize it a little bit too. So we go into parameters, scale it Y. Oh, that's width. Okay, Z. You don't want to scale it wider. So you can scale it up a little bit. Make sure it's always covering the whole, your whole screen. You don't want to get to your render and notice it's not. So yeah, look at what we have now for a scene. Now we go into iRay. And what, and you say, well, this isn't because you took it out of the sky, it's not a true HDR, because you just took that file and put it on a plane as a texture, and it's like, no, actually what we did, if you look at what's here, okay, is we took this plane, we turned it into an emissive. And if you think about your iRay Uber things, you can do more with this on, and I could have taken a sphere and I could have put this on the sphere, and then I could have tiled it so that it would still fit. So you have like a lot of options, with a lot more options putting this on this than you do have using this as the environment options, because you come into the environment options and you've got only a couple of different options. Let's go to parameters. You don't have a resize option. You only have rotation options. You don't have and you have brightness. That's it. That's all you have for this HDRI environment. But if you put this on a surface, you have all of those uber parameters to apply to your sky. So this is an amazing thing right here. Now, if you think about this, what we have here is an HDRI within an HDRI, because what's happening is we still have the HDRI of this image on in this scene. So if I want to light these trees up and I'll light this area up, then what I do is I rotate the HDRI that's outside of the plane around until the sun is pointing on the trees. So let's do this now to go to parameters. And let's see if we can light up our scene a little bit better with the other HDRI that's here. It's still... It may not work. And what I can do... Now look what this is doing though. See how it's kind of... It's lighting the scene, but it's not doing exactly... And I think there's a fog in this scene. I think what we have in here is some kind of fog turned on, or maybe... Okay, matte fog. Here it is. We turn this off and watch what happens. Okay, so now we've gotten rid of the fog, but I kind of like the fog on, but I don't think that will work in, and then we're going to end up with this really bright HDRI on. So what we do is we can now turn down this HDRI in here. We need to take absolute control of the lighting in the scene. And so what we can do is turn off the dome and scene and say scene only, okay? And now the HDRI is turned off, but then we can go into environment. No, we can go into, first let's take and turn down this and get our sky just perfect, okay? So we go into our plane, select our plane, and I can turn now down, go into the parameters, into surfaces, and turn down the emission, the luminance. And we'll go like this. And look at our sky now. But the trees aren't lit. So what's up with that? So what we do then is we put a distant light into our scene. Okay, so it acts like a sun. Now this distant light is an actual object. So I would think it will import into Blender just as a distant light. Now, I don't know that for sure, and we might have to turn on some kind of sun in Blender, which means a day of me learning how to do that. But that's why we're doing this in Blender, is because it brings, if you can make Diffeomorphic do all the work for you, most of the work, and you run into one little obstacle, then it's just a little bit to kind of learn at a time as you go along. It's little bits like learning to use the shaders and learning to use. It's just a little bit of work to have to do at a time, okay? And with the other importer, it's like I would get it in the eyes were also, so I have to learn how to move the eyes and get in, and the textures, the water texture, so I have to learn how to make water in Blender, and I have to learn the metal textures. The glass textures aren't working, so I have to learn how to make glass textures in Blender. And so, you know, if Diffeomorphic just brought the whole horse and everything like that just right there, then there's only little things that I have to learn gradually as I go along, and I can still keep making scenes. Like, I've worked for like days in Blender and gotten nothing out of it because I just couldn't get the pose in, I couldn't get this in. I worked and I set up scenes in Daz and I couldn't get them to work. So we're gonna look through the distant light here, and so there's our, okay. Now we're going to go into iRay, into texture shaded mode. Now you know where all this stuff is. Now there, it's kind of a weird illusion here, but now you can see, obviously this is the way our scene is, and you can kind of see this is where the distant light is pointing into here. Now you want this plane, when you zoom way out here, this is the opportunity to take this plane and push it back even further, so that your distant light has so that this plane, I can make it as bright as I want and it's not going to shine on my scene, okay? Or if I have like a bunch of trees, they're not going to put big, gigantic tree shadows on the plane. Okay, so I think it's far enough away that this will not cause any interaction. But if it's not, then I'll just move it back and then stretch it more and move it back and stretch it more until this plane is autonomous from this scene, so that my distant light, yeah, it's bright enough to light everything here, but it's not bright enough to light this, okay? Because it's so far in the distance that the fall off is not affecting this. So keep that in mind, okay? I think it's far enough away now to be okay. So we're going to have, I want it to come and be almost like sunset, so we select the distant light, and we can kind of come at it like, and now my Cowboy is going to be this way, so I want the light to, I think he's going to be kind of facing, I sort of know where I want to put him in that little corral, facing, I guess you would call that west. So I want the light to kind of be sort of coming at him at a little bit of an angle, this distant light. So let's hope that it actually does. Now we'll go back to our cam here. And now go back. Now something's lit up. Now I don't think that this distance light is bright enough to light up the scene at all. I think I've got to put at least it lit it up a tiny bit. But now we go into our parameters and distant light. And just give it a 2. Usually a 2 is enough for the distant light to light your scene. And look what we've got. And then we give it a little bit of temperature. Warm it up a little bit. And this is kind of bizarre looking, but it's cool. Now, I can still use spotlights and things like that in the scene to light the cowboy. All right. We've turned off our now. Okay, I think my camera. We have to put a spotlight in the scene, accept. And that turns off the camera's auto cam, and then I can take and just hide the spotlight. For now, it will have an extra spotlight in the scene if we need it. All right, so we can always delete it in Blender, but it turns off the auto light. So let's take this sky here. Let's make it a little darker and more intense. So we go to surfaces. It's just a little blown out, and I think if I lower it a little bit here to like 5, it will look much more intense. Or let's go now even more. Now it looks like maybe, all right, now when I turn off my distant light, I think my distant light's hitting it. Yeah, see it. And I'm wondering if this has like a shine to it if we turn off. So there's some issues here. So with the plane, so because we're dealing with all right, see this glossy layered weight and glossy reflectivity, glossy color. Let's go black. And now this translucency weight, we have to actually give it some weight in order for it to work. And then we'll see a color splotch sort of pop up here. And then we can go with this. And this is another way of bringing color into this. Now the distant light is on. Let's turn it off for a moment here. And see what our sky looks like without it. See this, it does kind of look like, now I have to get here with my perspective view, select this plane, and go travel, get in the spaceship and go travel out there. And make sure that I don't have it like at a weird angle, or it looks like it's straight up and down. We select the plane, go into parameters, Y, translate, this is translate, rotate, Y rotate. So it's 87, so that's almost 90, so let's go 90. And that's the Y rotate, I think. Oh, and that's, let's see, Z. Okay, what did that just do? Z rotate is 90. So I think that's this way kind of. So it is straight up and down, and the Y rotate is the angle, so we're going to leave that at 87. And the X rotate is, we're going to leave that as well. Okay, and then we have our positional. So I think what I'm going to do is select this distant light, look through the distant light, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to take this, go into, and we're going to move this sky way back so that the distant light is not shining at all on it. So we go here to our translate tool. Come on. Having two scenes open at the same time is just rugged here. So what we could do is turn off, well, we'll just see if we can keep doing this. All right, we're in, let's go to texture shaded mode. It's trying to show the the lattice and the geometry and the texture. Okay. Now let's scale this up to 9. We'll put a 9 on that. Oh, Z, that's the wrong thing. We got to go scale here. I think I tried to scale that already. All right, let's go to this and put a 9 on this. Well, that's like a lot. Let's go to 3. No, that's still a lot. 4. Okay, let's look through our camera. Bring it up a little bit. And then we go here to scale and go 5. Okay, 8. Okay. Now how many? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so we get to clear it up here a little bit. 2, 3. Oops, that's a little bit too much. So we'll go 2. And we bring this down and over. And still scale it a little bit more. We go 2, 5. Okay. That looks pretty nice. Now we can turn back on our distant light, and it shouldn't affect that at all. It doesn't look like it did. So now we go back to our plane, back to our surfaces, and let's just look and make sure we've got everything right here. The translucency color. Now remember, if we bring this down, we can darken it a little bit. Darken the image. But I don't think this is going to work too much because down here we have something overriding that. And what if we bring this temperature down a little bit? Now the luminance, let's go to like 2. Let's go to 4. Something's wrong. Nothing's changing. All right, let's turn this. Let's go to this translucency and just turn this off. Turn it back to black. Turn it back to 0. I've had problems with this, so go back to 0 with that. It doesn't seem to have changed anything, so emission color. See, this is giving it the color, the base color. We go none here. This is giving the plane its color. This is putting off a light. Okay, where it's actually becoming a light source. So let's just go to 300, or let's turn this light. Okay, we're not in iRay. That's the problem. It's not going to show us all the rays of light and things like that if we're not. Okay. Emission color. Okay, luminance. Okay, emission temperature. We just made it really red. Okay. Oh, that's starting to look pretty nice. Now, where is our... Okay, so this luminance, we bring it down more. Now, if we just turn this luminance right off, see, then it's not actually an HDRI anymore. If you turn it off, we're at -8. Let's go to go to 3000. So it's actually putting off light, and it's putting off its light. It's putting off the light of itself. It's not just putting off like white. It's putting off the light of itself. We can tint that light by changing the emission color, but it would just tint itself. It's putting out these blues and all these lights here. That's the color it's putting out. So if I were to go up like 9, then what happens, it gets washed out because it's putting off so much light. So we take a 9 off, and you kind of want to find a happy medium somewhere. There we go, somewhere in between. Now, I think the environment, if we go with this backdrop, we go backdrop and we go black, I think the environment's still gray. And that's going to be hard to emulate that backdrop in all right, so when we go into our scene and we turn off the distant light, I'm wondering if okay, the distant light, we turn on the distant light. Let's turn down the distant light so that we can get to a kind, and then we'll maybe use spotlights and stuff to bring out so it'll look like a moon is focusing down. So we need a little ambient light to just kind of light stuff up. So we take our distant light and we bring it down to 5. Now that was okay, that brought it down. I really don't like the color of everything here. The color scheme of everything is so I could take this distant light, it's too green, and make it a little bit red. There we go. All right. I think this is something we could try. Now, I've got this, it's just kind of small because we've got all this, but that is actually looking pretty good now. I think we should try to, now maybe this should got to come down a little bit more because it looks like there's too much white on the horizon. It's kind of a distortion. There we go. See, that is very pretty. So now I think we experiment a little bit more with this distant light. Let's look through the distant light. And now this right here, that's where the distant light is pointing. So when I move around here, let's go into this. So I could come down at it and point straight down at it. Let's see what this looks like. Go back to our cam. Kind of brightened everything up a little bit, but let's also now what I want to do is do some funky stuff, okay? I'm wondering if Diffeomorphic will export an VDB. So that's what you do, is you push everything to the limit. You say, oh, well, I would normally put a VDB in this site, a little bit of fog, a little bit of, but I don't think it will use the Daz fog because that's like generated by an engine within Daz. But it will Blender is the king of VDBs. So we go V, not absolutely the king, but it's Blender. You can make them right in Blender. So if we take now, we go to this props, and we take maybe this one. Where's my VDB? Okay, so I have to lock this cam again so I don't move it. Come on. Lock the camera. Oh, I locked the distant light. Edit. Okay, select the cam. I'm just going to call that camera. All right. Now we go up here and lock the camera so I don't move it again. Most used camera. Okay, make sure it's locked. It is. So now we go to our parameter, perspective view, and zoom in on our VDB that we just put in the scene. Okay, so it's too far over this way, so I think what would be the best thing to do would be move the scene to the center here rather than move everything off center, because then I'm going to have to the cowboy was right in the center of the scene. So I have to move everything down here, and then when I have to rotate around it, it's going to be kind of weird rotating. So if I take this scene here, the pasture, and zoom out on that a little bit and find out where it's, we'll just go to our parameters here and go, what would it be, X? Oh, that's the wrong way. Let's move our pasture right into the center of the scene. And then I'll have to move my camera. I hope you guys are enjoying this. Just watching me work. I do this so much even when I'm not like making a video, and you know, it's just so nice to have people's warm, kind spirits just hanging around and watching as I work. It's very nice to have that. So I'm going to go into some kind of other shaded mode. Maybe I can see. Yeah, I can now. I can see a little bit more. All right, now this is my VDB. Okay, there's my camera. So, and it looks like I'm kind of at least pretty close to the center of this, of the world here. Let's see. I could get a little better, do a little bit better here. This is, I've got so much loaded into the RAM in the other site. I've got the horse and the him and all those clothes, the hair, the hat. Okay. See, what bothers me about this scene is that I'm like facing, my camera is facing from the left in, and normally I like to face from the front in. So I move everything, and all I'd really have to do is move that, twist this world around a little bit. I wouldn't even think I'd have to twist the world, just move my camera, because the trees go all the way around this scene. So, all right, let's move, I think, okay, let's see now. Let's go here. What can I turn off? Okay, I think I can turn like these some of these trees, they still move with the scene, but if they're just not on, and the background trees. Now let's see if we can kind of move stuff. Okay, the plane is part of this. Oh, we're going to take this plane out for now, unparent the plane, because when I move this, I don't want to move that plane with it. All right, so we're going to rotate Y. This about like that. Where is my Y? 90 degrees. Okay. And then we move the plane up. Okay, now I want to turn my perspective view to the front. So this is where we'll put our camera. I'll just delete that other camera and put in another camera when I get my perspective view where I want it. So now we're going to move the translate over X like this. This is moving a lot easier now that those trees are turned off. Come on. There's our corral. And now when I move things, I know what they're supposed to be. This is Z, is in and out. And this is very good. So now, and it looks like the corral is below the center plane. So we're going to translate it up so that it comes through the center of our world. And then we're going to have to move our now I can set this right exactly Z in the center of this. There's the center of the world right there. And so we move it also, okay. And so now here is my fog. Okay, because if I bring anything else into this world, it's going to go into the center, and this center is off center. So now my fog is in the center. And that will be where the cowboy is to some degree. We'll see. I will probably put the fog behind the cowboy. So we'll put it like back here. Maybe we'll do two fogs. One here. And edit, duplicate. There's two VDBs. What am I doing? Okay. Okay. Well, and this one. Okay, I've messed something up. Okay, redo that. I don't want to move that. Okay, I've got two fogs here. I don't know which one works, which one doesn't here. This one does. When I select this one, okay, that still works right now. Okay, so we'll try to see. I can still move the land around, and I probably can still move these fog items around. They're going to be objects imported into Blender, VDBs. We're going to find out, aren't we? So if they will, all of this will just in one big click just import right into Blender. Okay. So I don't want the fog in front of him, or it's just going to make him look like he's kind of not there. But it would be nice to have kind of like this fog sort of behind him, or that I could move a little bit into him, okay? So now we're going to delete our camera. So I think what I have to do is unlock the camera, then delete it. And then what I'll do is I'll move in a little bit here, about where I gonna want my. What's kind of weird is I have this gigantic mountain here now, but I think that mountain is on a plane, okay, that I can turn around. Let's mountain, because it's like completely blocking my sky now. So what if I just, oh, that's part of the terrain, and if I can't move that, I could cut it out, but the terrain, everything is, oh, I have this terrain as well. Okay, so what happens if we just hide the mountain? Okay, what's happened is our sky is in another place. So what I'm going to do is now, let's create a camera just for the heck of it. Camera, and we'll copy the viewport. I mean the perspective view. Now what we're going to do is let's go to our distant light because it's so far away. Control L, that didn't work. I need some light in the scene, so I'm going to turn the distant light back on. Oh, it's on. I didn't give it any lumens, I don't think. Let's go 9.9. Something to light up the ground. All right, I'm going to guess that this has got to be turned like this. That would be at 90. Oh. Now everything, now this, okay, 90. Now the plane will be flat on instead of at this weird angle. X rotate 0. Okay, I think it's got to go one of these. Okay, it's got to go like this. Rotate. Okay. Let's go to our camera and see if we can see this at all. All right, let's just look around and see if we can see it anywhere. There it is. So it's from the left, so we have to turn it like this. We go straight on from the left, and then we turn it this way. Translate it. No, Z. This way. Okay. We rotate it like this, get it all straightened right out. 90, 90, 0. Okay. Now it's starting to actually get some geometry to it. And what we do is we now have to move it behind us. So we take this, and all right, we just give it a minus whatever it is, or a plus whatever it is. So this would be 8. Okay, so we just take that off. I think it's the X would be across this. Okay, so we just take that off. And now when we when we rotate around, There it is. Right. Okay, that's from the right, though. What did I just do? This is from the front. Okay, so we've got to change another parameter here on the... Okay, we've got to rotate it this way. That would be 90 here. And now Z would be this way. -8 minus, okay. X translate would be 0. Okay. And minus another 8, another 8. Now let's turn, do I got it the right way? This is the back. Okay, this is the front. We got it right now. Oh, and we don't have a mountain in our way. Well, I turned off the mountain, but at least I can see this now. And we'll see if we can turn on. Remember, we turned off our trees. We've turned off a bunch of stuff. What happens when we turn back on the mountain? Where's the mountain? This one. It's a mountain, but it's okay. What's nice is I can move those mountains. There's no reason why I can't just move them over, use them the way I want them. See? Okay, here. All right, we're not going to mess with the mountains yet. Okay, so what we do is now I can click straight on front and get my camera, get down towards the ground a little bit, zoom out, back a little bit from the center so the horse can be right there in the center. We're using our camera right now, so we're aligning everything perfectly the way we want this. So I can move the camera in Blender, but it's nice to get it all in the kind of in the... I would really like to keep this mountain if I can, because it just adds another layer of depth to the image. Save this. Now we're going to save this, and we can't save it as a Western Rider. We have to save... What did we call the other one? Image. Where is it saved? Diffeomorphic. Where did I save that stuff? Oh, in my renders. Here it is. These two come out of here. X, those are just other things. B. We use both, keep both of these. Okay, so let's go back up here. Let's try to do that again. Now we go into here. Western Rider, okay. Now this is weird, because something is spelled wrong. It has an I in it, so okay, so we're gonna Rider. I don't think that's gonna hurt anything because it's a... Oh, that's the name of my Blender file. So that was how I saved this. So we go File, Save As. There it is. Let's just give it another save. This is going to be so cool in this. All right, so go back into here. I'm getting really close to getting ready to export this into Blender. Because now we go to iRay. Oh, okay, now we're going to save this file, Save As. Okay, now I turned up my distant light really high. So we're going to go here and save as scene. We'll call this Western Rider Landscape. And we have one Western Rider, which is the other one, which I don't think I saved over, and Western Rider Landscape, which is everything in the file here. Okay, we can save it again and again until we're ready. Now this distant light, we're going to take this down again to... Okay, so and our trees are turned off. Here's here is our fog. It's not showing up very well. Oh, look at that sky. I think that's really nice. So let's go take this distant light down some more. So it's kind of dark. We can give it... We can mess with this. The only thing about this, they're not very high. So we're going to take them out. And we'll put, let's go back to our VDB content. There's a poofs. We can put poofs in here. See, now this poof came right into the center of the scene. It didn't. So we put this over here. And put another one in. Oof. It's letting me move that stuff like nothing, but I've turned off all this other stuff. Let's turn back on our background trees, the large trees. Let's try and export this stuff. Okay, I don't think I need this spotlight because I have a distant light. So we're going to try and export this stuff now. Everything looks like, I don't think I corrupted the scene, like I didn't move the terrain by accident and misalign all the scatter items and things like that. So, all right, Pasture. I think we got two poofs, and we're going to put them in with our Pasture scene. And we're going to put our plane. See what happens when we put that in with our Pasture. That's fine in the Pasture scene. The distant light, I think we can put that in the Pasture scene. The only thing we can't put in there is the camera. All right, but it moves everything out. Now this, the only thing is the distant light. I gave it like a reddish color. And I'm wondering if... See, I'm not getting the kind of light from the distant light. I think the distant light is off now. Yeah, because this, we're way off from here. Because this now, we need the distant light. Oh, what we could do with the distant light is come at it from the side here now. Now it's all like I can understand what this is doing. And so if I come at this from the side like it's sunset, it's like the sun and it's casting all these shadows across the land kind of thing. So let's go to back to our camera. Let's see what this looks like in iRay. I may have it put it under the horizon. So it's very difficult to get it right at that horizon level distant. light again. So we bring it up again, up a little bit. Well, you're going to let me move. Let's try that. Let's go back to our camera. Yeah. See, now that's kind of interesting. So I'm having this weird thing where Daz is taking my poof here and chopping it in pieces, and I think it's my graphics card. I think it doesn't really, the one graphics card is trying to show part of the poof and the other part, and they're not communicating very well. So I think it's time here to, this kind of looks now magic, like a magical scene. If we could get the poofs working, I think they'll work right in Blender. Now if I render this, let's do a quick render. Render settings. So let's save this. Let's do a quick render setting. We'll go at 2000, and 16 by 9 is our canvas size. And so we're going to go here with to optimization, render. Okay, samples. We'll just do these up and turn that off. Okay, and let's render. Because it doesn't have that. I want to see what my, I think, okay, so these, okay, it does kind of look smoky. I like this. I like what those poofs do. But then we have a nice clear sky up above it. And I like the way the light's coming in. We got these little light angles coming in from the side. Little bits of light peering through. This works, and I can just use spotlights for the cowboy himself to light him up, like the moon's shining directly down. Like there are other like weird, like reflective ambient light sources, and also let's cancel this. Let's give this a try. I like the brown, earthy kind of. You put him in this world, and it's going to light him with this light. And then what we do is we add other lights to kind of give him to make him stand out a little. And the poofs, I think, will be behind him to some degree. Let's move the camera like back a little now. So I can move the camera wherever I want in this scene. So, but the poofs are back here, so it gives us a little staging area in here. We don't want the camera these fence pieces coming in. So we'll save this. I might be up too high. I don't know. I'm not sure. That fence looks awfully tall. I'm wondering if I should like try to delete some of this fence on this side so it doesn't get in my way. But I can push the poofs back into the field and push him right kind of almost up to the, if I have to, up to the. So let's do that. Let's take these poofs. Make sure they're on the ground. I think they are. Let's see. No, I don't think they are. Oh, there's one. And this is one, another one. They don't look like they're on the ground. Now let's see, where are their level, where are their elevation? Because it'd be Y translate. Why is it 5,000? Why are these rotated also? Z translate 26. Smoke cube. Y translate is minus 30. So let's just go 0. And then we'll do this one for here. Y translate is 0. And there. Okay, I don't know. All right, this is weird. But let's do another real quick render. Did I just throw off my camera? Well, we'll see. Oh, everybody's gone. They're gone, gone, gone. They got tired of watching. Maybe they come back. They got other things. They probably want to watch their shows. Maybe Angus is still here. We got 7 likes today. Thank you. So I think I did throw off my camera. Would you like to cancel this render? Yes. I think I threw off my camera. Yeah, it's got to be front, straight on. And that's why I did do this, so that we have. And what's the camera? What is our point here? X translate. So let's put that at 0. And so we're looking straight on. We got a nice little mountain here. Our poofs are working. Creating a little, it's just cutting out, but it goes all the way to the ground here. All right, so we're going to save this like this. And then we're going to go now, we have it saved, so now we have to do one more thing. We have to go and export to Blender. And we give it the same name, Western Rider Landscape. Save it. This is where it gets fun. And now we go here. And we go to import. This is where you have to change this to environments. Okay, we come here. It says it's been exported. No errors that I can see. And so I guess we'll just try this. Okay, and we got to pick the file, which is in here, which would be this rider landscape import. Now, what have we got? Gotta wait. So I'm kind of got my fingers crossed that it's gonna import the plane for our sky, and that with the texture on it, it's gonna import the VDBs, and it's still thinking. And the land, I don't think is going to give it any problem. Last night I imported. Okay, it's saying, oh, look at this. And we've got lights. It's trying to figure out the lighting. Okay, so I don't think, let's see. I don't want to speak too soon. Okay, Pasture. It would be in here that we have, okay. Well, we got 2 poofs, whether if they work or not, but what I don't, oh, we do have a distant light. And now if we close this up, and if I click on this, it takes me to my camera view, my Daz camera view. And he happens to be right in the middle of the scene. Look. Now look at the intensity of how this looks in Blender. It's just kind of different. So what I want to do now is, now we have a figure in the scene. We don't want him right up against the gate. So what we would take is this Western Rider, and he's all one unit. I just click on him. Go here to this, and now these are reversed in Blender, so I have no which way. Okay, so what we're going to do is go into this texture shaded mode in Blender, and luckily I know what I'm doing. So but these are different. Okay, that didn't work. Z. Okay, this could be very bad, because I don't know how, because I just tried to move this whole group, this whole collection, and it didn't work. Oh, see that? Z? It just moved the horse. Now, and if I try to move, and I don't know how to make a group in Blender. So, but I do know how to move my camera. Now, see, because now if I go here, see, these were all grouped together. And it's weird the poncho isn't with. Okay, what if I try to move that into there? See, those don't work. I can't move the horse into and then make it part of like that. So, okay, now I just got all three of them selected at once. What if I move them now? No, that's just the poncho move, Z. All right, so we right click. Now, why they're already linked when they're not? That didn't work, Z. Okay. So we're going to try to go here and say how to make a group in Blender. Control plus G creates a group. Control plus G. I don't believe that's going to work. Let's try again. Now when I select this Western Rider, oh, and that's part of the landscape is, okay, this is a whole section of stuff. But it won't Z. It won't, okay, if I double click. All right, so let's, a group, add selection. The name of the new group can be specified in the create new group operator plan. Remove the selected objects from a group. How do I group multiple parts in Blender? Join and separate objects.
But let's say I want to join these two objects together, so the green cube and the blue cube. The two cubes have the same modifier. They have a subdivision surface with two levels. So if I select the green cube and then hold down the shift key and select the blue cube, I can press Ctrl J to join them together, and you can see nothing changed. The geometry looks the same, and that's because they have the same modifiers. Now you may be wondering how materials are affected. If I go over here to the material properties, this cube has a green material.
Well, we have tried Control J. So we got Control, hold Control. I knew how to do that part. Now Control J, no mesh data to join. Now what would these be called? They're not, see, they don't have the same kind of properties there. Okay.
Material, and this cube has a blue material. So if I select the blue cube and then hold down the shift key and select the green cube, I can press Ctrl J and that's going to join them together. And you can see Blender has automatically added both of these materials into the object's material slot, and it's assigned the correct faces to those materials. So most of the time Blender will just do it automatically and the materials won't be a problem. However, if you have a material which is using textures and the textures are using UV maps, then sometimes the UV maps can get messed up when you join the objects together. And they will get messed up if the object's UV maps have separate names. And I actually have a specific tutorial on that, so if you'd like to watch that tutorial, I'll have a link in the description and a card right up there on the screen. And of course, if you join multiple objects together, it'll do the same thing. So I can select this monkey head right here, hold down the shift key, select this orange cylinder, and then shift select these cubes, and I can press Ctrl J, and they're all going to be joined together. Of course, these objects are now given the subdivision surface modifier, but you can see it's added all the materials into this object. Now these cubes here don't have any materials. You can see we don't have any materials in the material slots. So if I select the cubes here,
this isn't helping, but thank you anyway, because I don't think these are the same kind of objects. How do I group objects into one mesh? How do I group nodes in Blender? Select the type of group, the nodes you want to include. Okay, now these are not nodes. Okay, how do I group figures? How to group, because the horse is a figure. How to group, G-R-O-U-P. Okay, so you make, okay, well they're already in a collection, so maybe there's a different thing to move a collection, but when I select this, okay, so now this collection doesn't seem to have a place. All right, how to move a collection. How to move whole collection around. You can select all of, then move them as one object. Select Shift shortcut M, Shift M, Control G. Move selected objects. Selected objects to an existing or new collection. All right, I don't want to do that. Add selected objects to while keeping them in their current collection. How do I move all objects in Blender? How do I okay, select G, okay. Oh, I might have to go into a different mode. No. How to move a collection. Instant selected collections to active scene. Mark as an asset. Okay, we're going to save this scene. We've got everything here. This is our .blend scene. Western Rider .blend. We're so close. Okay, let's do a quick render. Let's just render the image. See what it looks like with a real render. So, I mean, we're so close. We put him in it. We need to make him closer to the camera. And I've got to be able to select his poncho, select the horse, and select all of them and move them together. That's not a big thing. Look at this. See, this is really nice. Once we move him up like right into the foreground of the camera and then put a spotlight on him, and it's like easy. I can put a spotlight in and shine him on and change the parameters of the spotlight. It's going to be so nice to do this. So, wow. So, this is something else. It's amazing. Look at that horse. This is going to look so nice. And wow. I wonder if I have everything turned on here, or if I left things turned off. No, it's all here. And it looks kind of the same in Daz. The only thing that's different is my distant light, and I can put another distant light here in Blender. Oh, it did put the distant. Look at this. See, we're getting some light from, you know, there. It's shining. There's something shining from this angle in. So yeah, this is working. So what I don't see in this picture, okay, is, I wonder if you can guess, is the VDBs. Okay, they appear to be in the scene. They imported in, but they're right. Where are they? Here they are. My poofs. And we go to this. Oh, and this, look at this. These are all editable here, right? All of their parameters now, scaling relations. I can do more with these VDBs here in Blender than I could in Daz. So, so this stuff, that's why you bring this stuff in. That's why we do this. I mean, not that I have a lot of experience in this, but so that everything, like his clothing, and this is for Ted. If you're going to come back after this and watch this, because Ted was talking about the. Now, if I move this like this, then it takes me to a freeform camera. And then I can come right up to my figure here. It's not the actual camera. Go back to my camera and move this just a tiny bit like that. And now I'm in a free form. I'm under the ground. This is so hard to move around. But okay, we're going to move. Oh. This is not my camera moving. This is like a free form. This is like the perspective view. When then we zoom out, maybe. Oh. Blender is so hard for me. It's just you're learning a whole new thing here. Okay. Let's move in on this. Okay, I can't move this up. I guess I can, but this is so weird how this works. Okay, plus. All right, there we go. All right. So we can turn this maybe a little bit. So, yeah, when I do that. Okay, this. It's so difficult to get this to work. Okay. I'm just not used to these. There's a lot to learn, okay? So I think, now it's like this stuff is locked. Okay, it's letting me come in this way. It's just so touchy when I come in. Rotate view. Select. Duplicate, rename, mirror, snap. Snap to grid, snap to cursor. Parent. Okay, so we have the all right, so it may let me parent, okay, this to the Genesis 9 figure, parent. See, I can't move him at all because, okay, render. No, I have a feeling this is going to render from the camera. It's not going to render from this. There's a way to set this to render. So there's just a lot that I have to learn now that I have this in here. This is how you learn. Yeah, this is rendering from the camera. And with I don't have any kind of really nice like moonlight spotlight on him or anything. We'll bring him way close to the scene. Now there's a way to render. Okay, there's a render thing here. Render. Viewport. .24 output, 16-bit color. Okay. Camera background. Rendering. here there was combined. See, a lot of these things I've learned before, and I've just forgotten. Render result. So, all right, I think, I don't know if Ted's still here. Somebody's here. So, at this point, I've kind of, I need to do more research in Blender to figure out what I'm doing. So this is to go back to the 3D viewport. And which layer? Okay, image editor. So we click in, that's my camera view. And so I don't know how to take this horse. I take this, and now I've lost my layout. All right, here. And I don't know how to turn these three items to group them together. I can click them and get them all like this, so they're all selected. But I don't know how, and it says unlink, and that doesn't make sense to me. Select hierarchy. And I could put it in new collection. They're already in a collection. So show, and I'm not sure how to parent them together. So parent the horse to Genesis 9. Okay, select that item. Now I found set origin. Okay, parent and parent objects, Control P. Parent, all right, so we go Control P. So click parent that to, and then it's not giving me parent, set parent to object. And then you'd think you'd select the object and it would say, okay, they're parented, show you that they're parented. I would think I could drag that onto it and drop it in there and it would be parented. It's not working. So we can go in here, click on this. So I need to watch some videos. Okay, it just crashed. I'm kind of glad it did. So because I have it all saved here, and I didn't want to have all of my editings and weird things that I'm doing to mess it up. So I was trying very hard not to control. Okay, so click A, delete, file, open recent, Western Rider, don't save. And Blender loads scenes so quickly. Just look, that is 4 seconds. It loaded all of this geometry. It's like, how did it do that? So I have no idea how to parent stuff. So that's what I've got to do. I've got to learn this. I've got to learn now. And so when I come back in, I will have hours and hours of studying and learning and getting this seen kind of the where I want, and then I'll know more about how to get around in Blender, how to parent something. It's so fundamental to just say, okay, he's got his horse, and now, okay, this, and this, they have to become they have to be fused together so that they all have one world coordinate. So that if you spin them or move them or whatever, that they have a new world coordinate together. And this, I would think, object, parent, okay. Make parent. See, none of these make any sense to my brain. Parent a bone. Parent, they're like collection. Move to link to collection. Okay, so I would assume they're linked to this collection, but add active, add selected to active collection. Remove selected. Relations. Constraints, tracks, shade smooth, animation, rigid body. So we're learning this program is it looks complicated. It's much more complicated than it looks. Much more complicated. There's so much stuff hidden in here. I mean, you can make figures from scratch in here. You can make hair, like the hair that goes on figures, and all the strands and all of that. There's just an entire part of Blender dedicated to just making hair. That's why it's so important. And you know what? Blender is free. You just go online and download it, install it on your computer, and it's so easy. You just download it and click install, and it goes through a couple things and click yes, and it's done. And then you open it and you're right here. It doesn't take any kind of setup at all. You just download it, click install, let it do its thing, and then it pops up and says it's finished, and you say okay, and then you run it, and you're right here. And you're in this, and the reason why it's free is because it's open source. It was created by people who worked for free, who did it just because they believed in I don't know, socialism. But it's a beautiful thing that there are projects like this, and it's not, and because of this project, Blender is one of the leading modelers in the world right now. So, because so many new people come in, new programmers come in, and they breathe new life into it. They add new features. They say, I'd like to be able to group those things together and have them. You can do it. There are some things Blender can't do yet, but now look at this stuff. Snap, okay, and this transform pivot. Snapping, that's weird. Editing. So up in here we have shading tutorial, UV, sculpting, modeling. Now this part here where it says sculpt mode, when you select like an object like Genesis 9, or you would want to like select a piece of his clothing, like his pants or his shirt. And when you select that and then you go into sculpt mode, well, I thought I just did select it. Let's see, pants. And then you can go into edit mode, I guess. I'm not sure what I just did now, because... All right, see, it's not showing the chaps. Okay, the pants. Object mode. I guess you'd go into edit mode. No, and then you, that didn't work. I'm not sure exactly why. So again, but we would want to go back to object mode. So I don't dare to a lot until I figure out, and even just moving around right now, I hate the way this is moving around. It's like it doesn't want me to. You see, when I go to it doesn't want me to get up close to this figure. It's really strange how this is responding right now. I have to keep coming back and trying to get close to it again and again. So, it just restarted and came back. So you think if it was a bug, it would have fixed itself. I'm getting tired. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. I'm going to do some research on this. We got all of this stuff in. It imported in the VDBs, but they don't seem to be appearing. There's just a few little things, and very minor things, and those give me a window of opportunity to learn new things in Blender. So I'm already just bursting with excitement to go out and learn, how do I group things together? I know one specific little thing, and once I learn the command and all of that, then I'll be able to group them together and move them in front of my camera right where I want them in the scene. And then I can do that same thing with other objects. So I thought because they were in this collection that I would be able to just move them. So we have this collection. So we have Western Rider. This is a collection. And we have the Western Rider landscape, and that's all the trees and all that stuff. So we brought this into Blender in 2 goes, with the horse and the rider as one go, and with the landscape as the other go. So that's amazing right now that we were able to do that. So, and I this ortho view, I don't understand that either. But when we go to the camera, it brings it back to the camera. So I can move the camera. I can double click the camera and move the camera where I want it. I kind of have the camera where I want it. I want to move the horse closer. And we've got a really weird scene because I haven't put the lights in yet. I don't have the horse where I want it to be. I'm going to probably shine a light down from, say, this angle down onto the horse. Oh, it'd be probably maybe from this angle, because I'm going to turn the horse a little bit, because the horse is kind of turning. So I'm going to bring the horse up so it's kind of in very close in, so we can see the cowboy, so we can see his face and see all the detail in his face in this 4K skin. So we're going to bring the horse in so it's kind of big and up close. And we still might be down sort of looking up at the cowboy. I don't know. But we've got a lot of fun stuff to do with this. So, all right. Thank you for watching. Angus, take care. Have a good night. And I will see you again soon. This is Rex Red saying so long for EZ3DTV. Another awesome tutorial in the can. And we're using Diffeomorphic to export everything to Blender, and that's what we did. We exported massive stuff into Blender. All these trees, I think there's roughly about maybe 4,000 pieces of grass here. Thanks for sharing once again. Have a good rest of the evening. Thank you, Angus. How very kind of you. You too, my friend. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Today is the 12th of July. Bye-bye for now. I will see you again in another tutorial on another day at another time. Have a lovely day, night, evening, whatever's happening in your part of the world. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you very much for watching. I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.